The Lord of the Rings, The War of the Rohirrim is a new animated film from Warner Brothers. So today, let's see if it's worth your time. Hey everybody, my name is Justin. All I do here is watch movies and shows. A sudden attack by Wulf forces Helm Hammerhand and his people to make a daring last stand in the ancient stronghold of Hornburg. Finding herself in an increasingly desperate situation, Helm's daughter Héra must find the resistance against a deadly enemy who's intent on total destruction. When it comes to the Lord of the Rings knowledge, I am the wrong person to talk to. I just actually recently watched Peter Jackson's original trilogy for the first time, and I've seen the Hobbit films in theaters, so I have seen the movies. I just don't know too much about the franchise. So going into the Lord of the Rings War of the Rohirrim, I was excited to explore more of this universe. And what I do find very appealing about the Peter Jackson trilogy and the Hobbit films resides within this film. The animation style does feel very similar to what we've known for Lord of the Rings. The costume designs, the action sequences, the animation is brilliant within this film. From Héra and her combat scenes with Wulf, to Helm Hammerhand, to the look of the overall film, the anime style within it is a unique choice for Lord of the Rings. I know that Warner Brothers was on the verge of losing the license for these novels, so they had to create something. It was a unique choice to bring an anime film set years prior to the original trilogy, and it was a fun way to capture the tone of the Lord of the Rings. The swift action between characters, the intense battle sequences, hand-to-hand combat between Helm Hammerhand and Wulf. A lot of the scenes just have that natural flow to it. The background is very detailed. The costume designs look great for these characters. Everything that I do find appealing about the style of the Lord of the Rings is within here, and it just flows so naturally. It has this smooth look to it. And it's a very simple story about revenge. We have Wulf, who wants to get revenge on Helm Hammerhand for killing his father. And there's this deeper connection between Wulf and Helm Hammerhand's daughter Héra. And that's where a lot of that conflict does rise throughout this film, is that they do have that past and they do have that strong connection. So it does make some of the sequences within this film a little more challenging for the two. See that revenge story come out, and very personal for Wulf when it comes to his connection with Héra. So it does have that personal touch to it, despite having more of a simple narrative. Brian Cox is great as Helm Hammerhand. He brings a lot of the intensity to that role. I liked Gaia Wise as Héra. She reminded me a lot of Nausicaa, a character that feels very determined, willing to prove herself. I saw a lot of similarities between her and Nausicaa, and I found that to be very appealing. It was nice to hear Miranda Otto narrate the film, as she was also involved in the Lord of the Rings film. So there is some connection between this movie and the original trilogy. You have some characters that do appear within this film that you're going to recognize, some name drops along the way, but it's never relying on that original trilogy to move itself forward. It's trying to do its own thing and establish its own story rather than piggybacking off of the success of that Peter Jackson trilogy. Yes, there's going to be some connections and some things that will excite fans, but it's never a film that is trying to rely solely on those movies. It's trying to establish its own story and develop its characters. Real quick, if you're interested in checking out War of the Rohirrim, make sure to give this video a thumbs up. And if you have seen the film, comment down below with your overall thoughts on the animated movie. And if you'd like to see more exclusive content from me, consider joining my channel as a member, and there you can unlock exclusive movie reviews and ranking videos. I thought that War of the Rohirrim was a very interesting animated film, but some of my problems lie with its characters, as some of the characters, especially Wulf, feel very one-dimensional. His generic revenge story never fully develops throughout the film. It does feel quite simple and makes the overall narrative of the movie feel very generic. And then when it comes to Helm Hammerhand and his daughter Héra, they never really live up to their potential. The film seems a little too focused on Helm Hammerhand at times, with him as the king and wanting to protect his daughter, and so there's not that chance for Héra to grow naturally throughout the film and have that chance to live up to her potential, prove her worth. There is some great sequences between her and Wulf, some action scenes that she really challenges him as a character, but there are limited development when it comes to those characters, as you feel like they start off very strong and they could have this chance to become really intense characters by the end of the film, but it's just lacking that depth to them. And the overall story, like I said, does feel quite simple. There weren't many times in the film that really excited me. Like, I like the action and the story simple enough to enjoy, but it didn't have that same intrigue as the original Peter Jackson trilogy. It didn't have that excitement or that one wow sequence throughout the movie. I do think it's good and it is worth your time if you are a fan of Lord of the Rings, but it's a very simple film with a revenge story that you've kind of seen before, but done in an anime style set in the Lord of the Rings world. So I like the movie, but there are some issues with its characters and the overall structure of its story. I'm gonna go ahead and give Lord of the Rings, The War of the Rohirrim a B-. Thank you guys for checking out my review for Lord of the Rings, The War of the Rohirrim, the new animated film. Have you guys seen it by chance? What do you think about it? Let me know in the comment section down below, and stay tuned for more up and coming content like this. My name is Justin Watches Movies, and you guys stay classy, YouTube.